let us study extraordinary words of His Holiness Jigme Phuntsok Rinpoche. Regarding these extraordinary words, in the preface I wrote earlier, I briefly mentioned that actually at that time, there was an organizing committee for a Dharma gathering, the organizing committee for His Holiness's Parinirvana commemoration. At that time, they asked what kind of commemorative gifts there should be. They came to ask me, and I said if we were to buy something, that would be fine, but it would be better if we had one of His Holiness's teachings, because there was a previous teaching which I thought would also be good. We had previously translated always remembering, right? I said if we had something like that, it would be wonderful. So I suggested this. Then, because the previous teaching was mainly directed at the monastic community regarding the use of monastic property and being mindful of discipline, these aspects, for the general public, could there be a passage from His Holiness's teachings that truly helps us remember His Holiness? I said, among all commemorative gifts, I believe a commemorative gift of His Holiness's teachings is the most worthwhile because it can be treasured forever. Other things, some of them, for example, if we give out a bowl, once it breaks, it's broken, gone. If you don't carry it with you, leaving it at home, you can't take it when you go out. So these commemorative gifts would be wonderful. Later, they indeed made it. After it was made, I originally wanted to translate it, but it kept getting delayed. It wasn't until last year that I finally translated it. This was their commemorative gift from 2018. Regarding this commemorative gift, I knew there was symbolic meaning, but in the Tibetan version, this wasn't made explicit. Later in my translator's preface, I also mentioned, for example, this book has a total of 14 chapters. The 14 chapters signify that at the time of His Holiness's Parinirvana, it was the 14th anniversary commemoration, and altogether, adding everything up, there are 85 sections. What did the 85 sections represent at that time? His Holiness Jigme Phuntsok Rinpoche was born in 1933, and continuing until 2018, there were exactly 85 years in between. So it represents those 85 years and so on. The book also includes some photographs interspersed throughout. At first glance, it may appear quite ordinary, but actually it is not ordinary, it is extraordinary. The Tibetan title is somewhat different from the Chinese one, so I casually chose the title Extraordinary Words, because although it may look simple, one of His Holiness's teachings spoken by His Holiness himself, after reading it we basically all understand. From 1985 until His Holiness's Parinirvana, I was basically never apart from His Holiness, so what His Holiness said at that time, I should say we are very clear about, and I myself also feel certain that I have received this lineage, so at that time I felt I should translate it. Then last year, for the 18th anniversary of His Holiness's Parinirvana, I tried to get it completed during that period. It was distributed to everyone before the commemoration gathering, so this time we will go through it a little each day. For this study, I also hope you will keep in mind, if His Holiness were here, how would He teach this? Because this is His Holiness's Vajra speech, exactly as it was directly recorded. When I translated it, I didn't add many flowery words before or after. I didn't do that. I simply used very plain language. I feel that with translation in the past, sometimes I would try my best to find idioms and metaphors, including when I wrote Footprints on the Journey. There was a little of that. Now I feel more and more that simplicity might be better. Using colloquial language brings a sense of warmth and closeness. So in the translation process, I have also explained it very simply to everyone. Actually, with these teachings, this time everyone should reflect every day if His Holiness, because among us Dharma friends here, perhaps now 70 to 80% of people have never seen His Holiness, nor have they heard His Holiness teach the Dharma in person. So in that case, if His Holiness were here, how would He teach this? After He taught, what would you feel? So now let us all go back to 19 years ago, to the scene of His Holiness 19 years ago. Doesn't the beginning of the words of my perfect teacher specifically require us to visualize the 5 perfect conditions while contemplating purity? So let us also imagine. If His Holiness were truly here right now, and I were here translating, what kind of impact would His Holiness's words have on you? Everyone should imagine yourself in such a role. If you were truly attending this class in His Holiness's presence, how would you be? If we have faith, the significance of truly receiving this teaching in His Holiness's presence should be the same. Sometimes when His Holiness taught, especially in his later years, the teachings were quite short, sometimes only about 10 minutes. So each day we can receive His Holiness's simple teachings. Let us listen in this way, because the first chapter is mainly about the prophecy of the 5 perfect conditions. The first one is the perfect place. The perfect place, according to the prophecy of Bodhivajra, concisely explains in this prophecy the meaning of the 5 perfect conditions at Larung. So what did Bodhivajra say? He said, Danjian Ara Mutian Larung Valley. He had such a statement. There is this passage. What does it mean? Here it proclaims all the unmistaken characteristics of Larung. What characteristics? For example, Danjian Ara. Danjian Ara, one is on the left, Mount Aradazi, the sacred mountain. Mount Aradazi is where sometimes Dakini Munso Rinpoche resides. From here, going straight down past Luoruo Monastery, before reaching the hydroelectric station, there's a small hillside. The mountain opposite that is called Mount Ara, the sacred mountain. Mount Ara, the sacred mountain, is actually where the first Dudjom Rinpoche in the past revealed many termas. It is a sacred mountain, but you generally don't see prayer flags on this sacred mountain. Perhaps people are not accustomed to going up the sacred mountain because the sacred mountain may be difficult to climb, but it is a very famous sacred mountain. So this is on the left. To the left of our Larung is this sacred mountain. Then on the right is Mount Danjian, the sacred mountain. Mount Danjian, everyone knows. Now it seems Serta has made this place into a small tourist development area. Along the roadside, there are carvings of King Geza's 30 ministers. When I looked a couple days ago, wow, there were so many tourists at Mount Danjian. Now tourists are everywhere. Mount Danjian, the Mandala mountain, they're everywhere, including Mount Luoruo. There are many tourists there too, at the Luoruo sacred site. This is on the right. On the left is Mount Ara. On the right is Mount Danjian. And in between them is what we call Larung Ga. Larung Valley is also called Mutian Larung Valley. What he means here by Mutian Larung Valley is that in this place there is a great protector, the greatest local deity or earth spirit. This earth deity is the Mutian goddess across from us, sometimes called tree goddess, sometimes wood goddess. She is the protector of our western mountain. She is called the wood goddess or the western goddess. He didn't explain in great detail here, but the meaning is, in the middle of Larung Valley is our protector deity, these 3 sacred mountains. And also here, this prophecy also mentions Larung. What does Larung refer to? Whoever comes here receives blessings. That is why it's called Larung. Some also explain that after coming here, one wishes to ordain, or one is able to ordain, or one will ordain. It also has this meaning, Larung, Lama Rong. Lama means ordination, and Rong means it is possible. But now things have changed here. It's no longer Lama Rong, now one cannot ordain at will. So if we accept monastics here, there are now restrictions. Because if monastics keep increasing, our existing monastics would eventually have no way to stay here. So that's how it is. And this place is where the previous Bodhivajra was also a very famous master, the one who gave the prophecy. He lived approximately 200 years ago. At that time he was a great disciple in the lineage of Vidyadhara Jigme Lingpa, Bodhivajra, and also Dudul Dorje, the first Dudjom Rinpoche, and many other inconceivable great masters of the past, accomplished beings. They all stayed in this place, a sacred site blessed by them. And if we think about it in detail, this Larunga Buddhist Academy was actually in the past, Of course, Larunga Buddhist Academy is a name that was given starting in the 1980s. But before that, this place was also, during the same era, a place where 13 rainbow body achievers emerged. An ancient monastery, you could say, or you could call it a monastery, or a practice center, or an academy. The 13 rainbow body achievers, most of them are mentioned in the first Dudjom Rinpoche's writings. I translated it before, his autobiography from age 1 to 63. In it, there are many names of people who achieved rainbow body at that time, who achieved rainbow body then. There are partial records of this. Also, in this same place, there also appeared the first Dudjom Rinpoche's 8 sons, who were emanations of the 8 great bodhisattvas. They were also called emanations of the 8 great bodhisattvas. At that time, the first Dudjom Rinpoche, including in the biography of Serakandro, it's mentioned His Holiness the Wish-Fulfilling Jewel, and so on. This is mentioned in the Dakini biography. So this place, on one hand, was prophesied by Bodhivajra over 200 years ago. This sacred mountain here, that sacred mountain there, the name of the valley in between, and so on. And this place has also been blessed by many great masters. So if we practice here in our mind streams naturally, through the power of Dharmadhatu, renunciation, bodhicitta, and non-dual wisdom can arise, and more importantly, the state of naked, penetrating awareness. These should be able to arise. So today, below we have a photograph. Oh, and let me say a bit more below. There's also something else. In the past, Donga Rinpoche, in the old society, at that time there was a Donga Rinpoche. When he recited the Kangyur, he could read 6 lines simultaneously. In one of his prophecies he said, "In the Magnetizing Valley, lotuses bloom. At Luoruo, the golden eagle soars in the sky." This Larung is a valley of magnetizing activity, like lotuses blooming. Especially after the Academy's new layout plan a few years ago, this place has become an 8-petaled lotus. From the viewing platform on the western mountain you can see it. Sometimes you can count 8 petals, sometimes 16 petals as well. Then this golden eagle of Luoruo. Luoruo refers to Luoruo Monastery. The golden eagle, His Holiness was born in the year of the rooster, a symbol of Garuda. When it soars in the sky, birds from all directions gather here. The latter part has this meaning. From this we can also see that this place is an extraordinarily special sacred site of magnetizing activity. Also in the biography of the first Dudjom Rinpoche, it says, "How wondrous! Here is the Supreme Mother of Dakinis, the gathering place of Lotus Dakinis." At that time, the main protector of our Larung is called Shenpa Yaksha, the core location of this place. At that time, he requested Shenpa, the protector, to go to where Dakini Munso Rinpoche now resides, the core location of Larung. If you establish a practice center here, the Dharma should flourish here, and the activities will be vast. This is mentioned in his prophecy at that time. When you have the chance, you can look it up. The first Dudjom Rinpoche, when he first came to Larung, this protector deity. So Shenpa Yaksha is one of the main protectors of our Buddhist Academy. Okay.
Bandara